Hey, welcome to New Jump City, everybody, where we recap the week in American and Japanese sequential art. I'm your host, Christian, the unbiased king. Espinal, and joining me through StreamYard, it is the man, the myth, the legend, the tank top sage. It's Joshua. Gangsta time, go.
Well, it's called Partner, but it should be called Gangsta time.
What's good, Chris? What up, everybody listening?
Hey. Also joining us, it is our producer, Edgelord Big News Brian.
What's up, nerds?
Hey, we're back with a bit of an unusual episode. Both Kagurabachi and One Piece are off this week, but fear not, we have some other series to talk about. We have, of course, Sakamoto Days still. We still have Dandadan, and of course, we have World Trigger. But how are you guys doing, though? Let's start with that. How are you guys?
Chilling.
Good.
Vibing.
Yeah, weather's been a little
Right? It's been so shitty. It's been raining.
Yeah, it was good for a few days.
It was hot. It was hot like last week.
Yeah.
Hot as hell. But
Yeah, and then it dropped back down to like 60s for no reason.
It's gonna be 100 degrees next Tuesday.
Oh, hell yeah.
No, man, I hate that. You know what? I like this. I like the 60 degrees esque weather. That's where I live. I like a little chill, but not too much chill. You know?
Yeah, I'm a mid 70s guy myself.
Mm-hmm. I could take a mid 70s. I'm good with mid 70s too.
Yeah, it gives you the freedom to choose a lot of different options. You could rock a t-shirt, you could rock a hoodie, you could rock a tee and a light coat. You know, it's a lot of options.
Yeah, I'm more and more appreciating hoodies. I'm becoming hoodie guy. I like a good hoodie.
Yeah, you can't beat them. They're comfortable and they look nice. They get the job done.
They sure do. And they look cool sometimes, you know? It's cool to have a good hoodie. I saw this Zorro hoodie that was really cool. By Hypeland. Yeah, they're expensive. It's like $90.
Hypeland makes some dope shit, but yeah, they are really expensive.
But you get good quality, I suppose. I have some updates regarding my journey to read every single series in Jump. I've actually made decent progress with both Akane Banashi and Nico. Not Nico, sorry. Witch Watch. Nico's the main character of Witch Watch. Akane Banashi is very good. I just got to the 100th chapter of Akane Banashi, which is around the area where I fell off in my initial read through. So I'm getting close to everything being brand new for me. The 100th chapter of Akane Banashi is really fucking good. I felt like it was like a real celebration of the whole series in a way that not a lot of 100th chapters do. But yeah, I really am a big fan of Akane Banashi. It's really like become a staple in my reading thing. I'm always excited to read it. Witch Watch has been mostly gag still, but then they've injected a little bit more of a serious storyline. Like there's a villain group being formed, like a serious villain group, which is nice. But you know, now I'm back in a gag area, which is interesting. I always feel like I'm reading like it's like 30 chapters of pure gag, and then all of a sudden they're just like serious story time.
Oh shit!
So I never know when it's going to appear. But
what a pace!
Yeah, it's very strange. I don't mind it though. It's not my favorite series. I'm not gonna lie, but not because it's bad necessarily, but because I don't know. Maybe I'm just like not into gag series that aren't just absolutely nuts. Like you kind of have to be Bobobo for me to
Toriko.
Really yeah, well, Toriko's not even a gag series. I wouldn't say. I think.
You sure?
It's close. I mean, it's so absurd that it can be, but I think
it was hard to take the final fight seriously. I mean, that shit was insane.
Yeah, I don't know. I think like that was more tonally serious.
I feel like
was.
it's a little more difficult to like fully enjoy like um gag manga that aren't exaggerated, like you mentioned, because I think typically Japanese humor is like based on wordplay and like mixing up things. So I feel like it could be difficult to really understand or like properly translate jokes.
Yeah, and there are a lot of like just random cultural references that I don't understand it because I didn't grow up in Japan. But honestly, my favorite gag chapters of Witch Watch were the ones where they went really absurd and like the style of the art changed. Like I think there's a chapter where Nico turns everybody into like sixth grader drawings, and one of the characters just looked like terribly ugly, like terribly drawn. And that was like a funny chapter.
Yeah.
And there was the Minecraft chapter where she turned everybody into Minecraft characters. And there's just this guy in the theater just like wondering if he's just not with the times because everybody has a square head.
Just doesn't get it.
Yeah, he's just like, well, should I get this flat top now? Is that what's in these days? But yeah, I am enjoying Akane Banashi a little bit more because there's more of a story, like straight up plot line. And the art is really good, and the exploration of the art form is very good. I can't wait to catch up to Akane Banashi because I think it's quite good. I think everybody should read it. I think it's like one of my it's one of the series that I've can't come back to after falling off of it. But yeah. Not much else to say though. Akane Banashi rules. Josh, how's One Piece going?
Oh, it's been lovely. It's been lovely. I'm in Punk Hazard. It's not a slog at all. I remember saying this to you a little earlier in the week.
Yeah,
it's very good. Chapter by chapter, it's been entertaining. There's a lot of things I missed out on. Man, it is a completely different vibe reading a series straight through and then waiting week to week for chapters. Your expectations are different, especially when you do a podcast and like we're here making predictions and saying things might go a certain way, then they don't. So it kind of leads you to reconciliate. You could tell that Punk Hazard was like Oda introducing the new world and also like like introducing like the more, I guess, like mature themes like going on. I mean, Punk Hazard, what's driving majority of the Straw Hats is the fact that like children were kidnapped and asking to be taken home, and the Straw Hats have done hero-like activities and saved towns and shit from like corrupt people or whatever. But this is really the first time where they was doing something truly altruistic because like to go out. Nah, that's a wrong way to say it. They're altruistic when they help out these islands and stuff. But it's usually like, oh, you're my friend and this is your country, so I'm going to help you then. This was like oh shit, we're gonna help get you kids the fuck out of here because this isn't a situation of kids. You guys are getting experimented on. I guess I didn't realize how big of a arc this was for Chopper at the time either. That I'm seeing it is now. I mean, he's stepping up as like a reliable character like in this arc, not because he's a doctor himself, but because he's looking for the research how to undo the issue that the kids have, their addiction to the candy. Oh man, forget all of that. Forget all the cool. Forget all the actual like analysis of One Piece I want to give for the arc. Let's talk about Caesar Clown. He is the coolest. Yeah, right. And he's like a more serious Buggy. it's so funny, like how like the first two arcs are mirroring like the first two major arcs, the first couple major arcs of like of One Piece. You know, with Fishman being a primary villain, and then another major villain being Buggy the Clown, Caesar Clown. Whatever. I guess they're not in the same order, but that's something I just thought about now. Yeah, he's really evil. He's funny, but he's not a weakling. He took out Luffy. He beat Luffy. Luffy lost, and Zolo lost too. Zolo lost too to the fucking Yeti brothers, the Yeti Cool brothers. I know. I mean, they got hit by the smoke. Him, Brook, and they
didn't fight him. He got sneaked.
Sure. I think that's what we all said, but I know I was irked at the time. Because they wasn't supposed to. Zoro was never supposed to lose again. That's crazy. There's a line where Zoro says when they get back into the lab after that huge fucking smoke bomb, the slime monster was a problem. No kidding. That's one of the most powerful One Piece bosses in the series, from what I can remember. You think Enuru was beating the slime boss? I don't know about that.
Yeah, the axolotl fruit.
Yes, he ate the axolotl fruit. That shit was cool.
Yeah,
it's not even cringe. It's cool.
Like, damn, I like axolotls.
Kool-Aid. I do. They're pretty sick. But anyway, Zoro tells Luffy like the new, no more mistakes, like no more messing around. The new world starts now. Like right now.
That part.
And I just laugh. You're starting over like a kid, but they really meant it. And as we all know, they go on an absolute fucking tear from this moment going forward. I mean, these guys only lost. I mean, I think Luffy only lost like once. This whole up until today.
Well, why not?
Nah, he's lost a lot.
He lost to Katakuri
more time,
and lost to Kaido.
He drew.
I don't know.
Give him a draw.
He lost to Magellan too.
He didn't lose to Magellan.
No, I'm saying in the New World.
Oh, in the New World.
Yeah,
he lost.
He did lose to Magellan though.
He did lose to me.
Yeah, he's the poison man. What are you supposed to do about that?
I will say though,
maybe if you're the antidote man.
I will say though, that Luffy Zoro moment in Punk Hazard is among my favorite Luffy Zoro moments. Just because I just like it. I love their interactions, like the way that they balance each other out. Like I love that Zoro's the only one who can be like, Luffy, lock the fuck in, buddy. Come on. And he actually listens. You know what I mean? They're just that respect that they have for each other shows in the way that they talk to each other, or the way that Zoro talks to him. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I want to say more about that too. You're absolutely right, because I enjoy those moments thoroughly. I really do. And it's because it's not about, Zoro's the second-hand mate, therefore he can say these things to Luffy. This is something built on trust. That is their relationship. Because he knows whenever Zoro fixes his face to say some shit like that to Luffy, he understands that it's never, ever coming... It's only ever coming from a place of true sincerity, to the point that he feels like Luffy would agree anyway. Like he's not telling something that Luffy doesn't already know, or like would have an issue with. He's like, nigga, you know what time it is, man. Don't forget. And because of that respect level, it always snaps Luffy back in. So yeah, I mean, it's more than just him being the second hand man. And I think a lot of people don't look at it that deeply. Or maybe they do, and I'm just brand new because I'm rereading One Piece for apparently the first time.
Yeah, you're truly
oh god,
the first time. I believe that. I feel like I did when you read One Piece for the first time, it's mostly to catch up. So you miss a lot of the nuances in One Piece when you're like kind of just trying to get to where the
You're
current
right.
parts are. So that's why I always recommend people read it twice, which is crazy, but it's important.
Well, you have a long life, right?
Yeah.
Read 2,000 chapters, please.
It's really not that hard. I always recommend people read the manga. It's faster than the anime for sure.
Yeah, don't even. I'm sorry. I will tell people, do not bother.
Bro,
Not the
I'm
first
watching
time I've
the
said
anime.
it, won't be the last.
I'm watching
mean-
the anime. I've been watching the anime for about a month now. I've been on Skypiea for about a month, and that's only because Skypiea is fucking the anime adaptation for Skypiea is incredibly slow. So there's Skypiea gets a bad rap from the newer members of the community because of how slow it is, but I think that's strictly an anime problem. I would recommend you read it. You get through One Piece faster if you read it, and I think that's very true.
You should have waited for the Wit Studios one to come out.
I like the old classic one. I don't mind the old classic one. I'm excited to watch Water 7 in the anime again because that was one of my favorite anime experiences.
I think I'm gonna skip I think I might just watch Water 7 too.
You should. I mean, hey,
I've earned that, right? I've earned not having to.
You earned that. I'm totally for people going back and watching their favorite parts in the anime. But I will be watching the Wit Studio one again, just because of curiosity. Whenever it comes out, the shit comes out so slow. But yeah, I'm reaching towards the end of Skypiea. I just passed the flashback. So I'm almost there, guys. I'm almost at my favorite part of the end.
Do y'all watch the current episodes as they come out?
I don't watch full episodes. Every now and then I'll throw it on, but I get a lot of clips of the best parts. I sent it to you guys, but someone animated the Willem Dafoe meme into One Piece. It was like a clip where like I guess Kuma was going crazy on the Navy and like fighting them, and he was like above them with like a paw beam, and the guy was looking up like Willem Dafoe. Like,
in Lighthouse.
yeah, the Lighthouse. Willem Dafoe
I've never
meme.
seen that movie.
I haven't seen it either, but it's such a funny moment. I love it when like animators put some random meme culture into it. But yeah, the current episodes are crazy. They're putting a lot of effort into it. But yeah, that's my anime journey with One Piece currently.
Yeah, Law's cool. I was a Law hater for some reason. I don't know why.
That's my goat right there.
He is. He's really cool. He was doing a lot. He was working with Caesar Clown for a reason, and it's like he set up this plan with Luffy to take down one of the emperors, which ended up being for Kaido, right?
Yes.
Yo, Oda, it's not just about Oda having a plan. It's the fact that he has the freedom, that confidence to know that something he's doing this year means something 5 years later.
No, that's true. It's
Not
true.
a
You gotta
lot
have
of-
a lot of. You have to have a lot of confidence as a writer to do that kind of thing. And he was doing it when he was like still like kind of a rookie, you know. He was still doing it as a young one in Jump. So
yeah.
Yeah,
I'm
but I
glad
think-
One Piece is getting its flowers that it is today.
yeah. After 4 kids almost killed it.
Yeah, I usually am very like off put by like the corporatization of anything I like really love and enjoy. But I'm happy for Oda that it's on the stage and it's getting all this attention.
Yeah, Oda uses his money for good.
All these collaborations.
Oda's a different guy, like when tsunami hit Japan, he like donated like 10 million yen to like.
Oh shit!
I think it was like his hometown that was hit, and he put like 10 million yen towards bringing it back to town. That's what those sculptures, if you ever seen them around, they made that in his honor because he like donated a ton of money to that area of Japan. I think that's the story, but I'm pretty sure he donated
Sculptures of what?
Of all the straw hats scattered around Japan.
Oh, that's sick.
Have you not seen those? Those are really cool.
No, I'm gonna look it up right now. Actually,
yeah, go look it up. They're fucking sick.
Yeah, that's $69,000. By the way, he donated as a manga artist, and that was before One Piece was worldwide. Like, I mean, it was always worldwide, but that's before it was. This
was that 10 million?
mainstream.
How much did Oda donated? Donated donation to Kumamoto.
$69,000. That is.
He donated 7.5 New York U.S. dollars. I almost called it New York dollars. 8.5 million U.S. dollars. It was 800 million yen, which is 7.5 million.
Damn. Oh, excuse me. I mean, 70,000 is a lot of money. Anyway, for a fucking manga artist. But
this is how you millionaire, guys. This is
wow. They got Jinbei in there too. What the hell?
Yeah, they even built a Jinbei sculpture.
Do they have one for Gangster Gastino?
Unfortunately, no. Gangsta Gastino. How do you say that shit?
I forgot. I gotta watch that part. I gotta watch that anime too.
I'm gonna find it. Hold on. I have the message. Give me a sec. And then we'll start.
Had to let Luffy know that was
Youngster Gastino.
Yeah, he tried. He tried. He tried, but really didn't try. All he did was change his hair and his outfit.
Oh yeah, I found it.
Gangsta Gastino.
No.
違う。ビッジの兄弟分。Gangsta Gastino だ。知らない。
Gangsta.
Gangsta Gastino da.
Oh my god, he better come through. He better, help out in the end and try to redeem himself for his mass murdering ways.
Nah.
Him and Judge. Dad.
Him and Judge are scumbags to the end.
Really? Do you think that's?
I think that's the case. Or maybe they might be pissed that they killed Vegapunk and they'll change their ways. Try to spin the block for their boy.
That was the homie.
Gangsta Gastino.
Yeah, that's got to be a drop.
Yeah. Gastino.
Or just the gangster part, whatever, something like some real cool shit happens.
Yeah. One Piece is too good.
So those are my One Piece updates.
We talked about One Piece today as long as we would talk about it if it were in the lineup.
Yeah, well, whatever, man. I'm sorry. Sorry. Sue me. Look me up. Yeah, this is really funny meme of this guy doing a parody of the Pope as just like kind of like the third place Pope that didn't get selected to be the new Pope. And he's just kind of a drag queen where he's like, look me up for the being deal. It's very good. I'll show it to you guys. But anyway, let's do the real show, shall we? That's enough with the One Piece glazing already, We'll never be done with the One Piece glazing. All right, let's go.
Never.
Sakamoto Days. With that, I'm gonna pass this one over to Josh, actually.
Yeah, thanks, Chris. We got a little bit of a different lineup this week. So I'm holding out Sakamoto Days. It is chapter number 217. It starts with me. Last week, Shin died in one alternate timeline. In our timeline, he actually survived because that lucky girl used the last of her luck to save him. And ultimately, it didn't really matter much because the entire order / X gang, I don't know what they're calling themselves right now, but X's goons, X goons, they all pulled up and they have surrounded Shin and the lucky girl, and yeah, that's where we start off with this week. The leader is like, how could you possibly escape this situation? X is muttering to himself because he's in his Taka's whatever the nigga's name is, that personality. And Shin believes there's just one way he can get out of this, and that's with his mind jacking power as the magnetism lady that I totally was not gooning for last week. Loads up
Not at all. Not gooning hard at all.
Nope, not me.
You won't catch him gooning over a drawing.
Nope. Yeah, you definitely won't catch that in last week's episode.
No, not if you listen
on all streaming platforms.
Yeah, or the Sakamoto highlight reel that I put out for last week. You won't find it there either.
Yeah, on YouTube and TikTok. Anyway, she's loading up the magnetism punch, and she's attacking Shin, but they're all. I guess she just used that attack to kind of launch herself up towards him. Oh no, they dodged her attack. Whatever. Point is, they all about to attack him, and he decides to launch his attack out on everybody at once to all attack X. Pretty smart. This gives them a moment to I guess like Shin and the girl to like get away as the Taka personality in X responds to all of the bloodlust aimed towards him that Shin caused. And does this huge slash, getting all of his goons off of him. And right as Shin is starting to get away, the rest of X's goons resolve to just take him out real quick because once Taka's going with his bloodlust, you have to defeat him. However, before they're all able to fight, the electricity man, his name is Gozu. Yeah, that's an easy one to remember. Gozu shocks everybody by manipulating the electricity through the floor, and just enough to stun everybody. And then he gives X a slap on the back, says, "Hey, K, take charge, man." And just like that, he gets X to switch back to his K personality, his normal government name, the one he was born to personality.
Yeah, his government name personality.
Yeah. Yes. Just so we're all on the same page here. Yeah. So yeah, the rest of the order members are like kind of complaining about what Gozu did. One of them saying, "You could have killed us," the magnetism chick. And he's like, if you die that easily, you don't deserve to live. Y'all are so low voltage. Is he trying to say they're low vibrational? Is that
no?
No, he has electricity powers, so he does electricity puns, Josh.
Thanks. So
he could say low vibrations, but because he does do electricity, he has no choice. Yeah, but to make electricity puns.
I see. Yeah,
I understand.
I get it. May I continue? Or is
Just-
there more
Just so
explanation?
you get it. Just so you get it one more time.
No, we're on the same page.
He
man.
uses electricity.
Right.
He uses it so much that it's part of his personality and his manner of speaking. So he has to shoehorn electricity into anything he says.
Yes, I also appreciate the author for doubling down and staying true to his meme values. No, meme is the wrong word. Trope values. Sure. Anyway, that electric attack that he launched out and hit all the order members, he also caught Shin while he was trying to get away. So yeah, game over. Kay looks at him and he's like, I'm so sick of this. The Sakamoto store staff and family, the leftover former order members, I'm ready to waste them all and start fresh.
Valid shout, I suppose.
Yeah,
I get it.
Sure.
Look at it from his point of view.
From his, if I was in his shoes, right?
I'd be like, well, fuck this shit. I'm over it.
Mm-hmm. Gozu is, of course, with the shits. It's a sure thing. Let's start with Shin, right? And he immediately wraps his blade chain. X, by the way, wraps his blade chain around Shin, and he's like, "Sorry about this, Shin. Sorry." He said, "You've been a real pain for long enough." And right as he's about to, I guess, slice Shin up, skinny Sakamoto comes out of nowhere and rips this chain, and he says, "You'll start with me, Uzuki." I guess that's KX.
Yeah.
As K says, "Son of a, you're really getting on my nerves." And that's the end of Sakamoto Days. Brian, what were your thoughts?
He's speechless.
Okay.
There's a rule of thumb.
No, I was gauging whether I wanted it to be an RGC or not.
Oh.
Would you like me to share some criteria with you?
Sure, go ahead.
A sort of rule of thumb I go by. If you got to think about it too much, it ain't it.
Yeah, I guess you're right.
That's a good one.
This is a pretty cool chapter. I feel like Shin came up with a pretty creative way to get out of the situation. And I'm honestly just a little disappointed how quickly the issue was resolved. But regardless, I still feel like this is a pretty cool chapter. Having Shin like trick everybody into getting X against them. But yeah, I mean, this was a pretty fun chapter for that. And I wonder if Sakamoto is done with his PTSD, or if that's going to be in the way for a bit during this match. What if Shin is the one that fixes his PTSD with like a mind power or something?
He just erases it.
Yeah, like he erases the PTSD as it goes.
Sakamoto.
That's like Professor X.
Yeah.
I feel like
Forget the genocide.
Nah. Yo, you seen that? So
Yeah.
beam. It was great. Making Magneto relive the Holocaust was fucking crazy.
Yeah, that was buck wild. He crossed the line.
Yeah.
I don't know what he was trying to save, but if he was trying to save my life, I don't think I would.
He was not. That was like
appreciate being associated with that.
That was his move to fight Magneto. He was like, feel it again.
Wow.
Bananas.
The more I learn about Professor X, the more I know that he was not a great character at all.
That was
not a great person.
I don't blame Magneto in that instance. I would have been like, Magneto, you took oh man, he showed you the Holocaust again.
Again?
You went through it twice?
Oh no. We gotta go get him.
Cyclops would have been like, what the fuck? All right, I'm switching sides.
That's probably why he turned into an asshole.
Yeah.
He found out.
I heard you gave Magneto the Holocaust beam. You can't do that shit. But maybe Shin might be able to do that, I guess. And then if Sakamoto ever gets out of line, out of line, I blew up your family.
Child, their wife blew up. in that store you love. That'd be rough.
Sorry to cut you off, Brian. Do you have any final thoughts?
Oh yeah, I think we're gonna see Shin's next evolution soon. I feel like this is gonna be a good time for him to kind of get that. I just wonder what more he could possibly do after this, but those are my thoughts.
I'll go next. I like this chapter as well. I thought, it was a good rise and fall with Shin's plan actually working, and then just them recovering fast enough I thought it was like a good little twist on it. I thought he was going to get away after that. The one complaint I have with this chapter is that Sakamoto's not fat. I wish they had used fat Sakamoto, I feel like I've talked about it before, but like Fat Dad Sakamoto is the best aesthetic for this series, like for that character, and that's the one that this is the design that the series is founded upon, And I get that this, like, the skinny Sakamoto looks cooler, but come on, man. Like, the fat Sakamoto is more unique, It's a lot more fun. And I think it's just like better indication of Sakamoto's character currently than his younger and more like fit self, And, it may seem like a little bit of a nitpick, but I do appreciate Fat Sakamoto better than Skinny Sakamoto. I just think it's a better design overall. Because he even looks strong as that. It's not like he's like this schlub for sure. He looks like a strong big, Yeah,
I agree.
And it's just,
but maybe that's what they discover, is that his truest power is being Fat Sakamoto.
I mean, I don't know. They make it pretty clear that this is the form he takes when he wants to be extra strong, Yeah, I just prefer Fat Sakamoto. That's my real only complaint. Otherwise, this chapter is pretty good. But I think you lose something when you use this form of Sakamoto for so long.
I agree.
Yeah, I agree too.
Josh, what did you think?
No, it was an exciting chapter. I agree with Brian as far as like, I didn't think Sakamoto would pull up already, and I also didn't think that after Shin made such a fucking play, with making them all attack X, that would have maybe bought him a couple more chapters by himself to figure things out, but I guess not. This is an unpredictable series. This has been a ride. I say that a lot of times, but I really mean it with Sakamoto Days. And I don't mean that in a negative way. It's just always a new thing. Bang, 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 new thing. This direction, this situation. It's interesting. Is Sakamoto going to fight everybody? There's no way.
No, I'm sure the others are behind him.
The others?
Yeah.
The electric guy is a problem. I don't know about the others with that.
I'm sure
there's a few.
Beat his ass.
Everyone in there is strong. The Gozu guy is like something else.
Yeah. You could use thunderbolts and shit. I don't know about that. It's like a Sith Lord. Anyway, those are my thoughts. I don't have much more to say. Very fun chapter.
Hell yeah. All right. If there are no more rebuttals, I suppose we can move on. Yep.
Off we go.
All right. Here we go.
The world becomes my gun.
World Trigger. This is World Trigger chapters 253 and 254. We're going to start with 253, the away mission test part 44. So we are on the last day of the away mission test, and we opened this chapter with Osamu coming out of the weird pod thing that everybody must sleep in at least for one night. And turns out it's actually pretty good. Everybody seems to like sleeping in there as opposed to just like on a regular bed, which is pretty funny. But then as they're going through their morning, having some breakfast, doing their thing, they get an announcement from the selection test management, and they announce that they're going over the 5 key points for the final phase, the final day of phase 1 of the exam. The first point is that today, like yesterday, today's labor hours will conclude at 7 p.m. However, evaluations by the judges will conclude at 6. So today is the day that the A rank squads that are observing the current B rankers are going to submit their evaluations of what they saw. Point 2 is that the captains of every squad between the hours of 6 and 7 p.m. have to complete their captain's evaluation of every member of the squad. So they have to basically grade everyone on their squad, including themselves. Point 3, the potable water will be relatively easy to obtain for the duration of phase 2. However, no additional food will be provided. So squads must come prepared to phase 2. They have to use the containers they stored their personal effects in for food, and the contents of those containers and nothing else will be transported with them. So they have to be very, I guess, exacting as to what they're bringing, the foods that they're bringing along for phase 2. So point 4 is that they explain the long-term combat phase of the exam, which is extremely exciting. It's what we all been waiting for. And it turns out that the next phase of the exam will pit all of the temporary squads against the A rank squads, which is fucking sick. I'm so fucking excited for that.
Yeah.
It's so
it's time to get hyped.
Oh my God.
Oh, but can we hit a timeout real quick? Because I cannot wait until we give our thoughts. I have to say it now. World Trigger is like Valorant.
Is that
I'm not talking about the battle part of it. I'm talking about the entire series.
Okay.
The way it is so detailed and grounded. They spent 3 pages to talk about packing lunch.
They really did, huh?
No cooldowns. Anyway, as you were saying.
Yeah. So the A rank squads.
Brian loves this shit. Sorry, I can't help myself.
I do love this shit.
It's okay.
So yeah, A rank squads versus the temporary squads. Very exciting. Point 5, there will be no special assignments today. So today is the final day, and they're told to give them their best efforts. So yikes. It's the pressure is getting intensified. So we remain with Sua Squad as Katori asks about the captain's evaluations, and Sua explains like, well, I got to give you guys points, and that's pretty much what it sounds like. But first, you know what? Let's not even think about that. We have a whole day ahead of us. This is our last chance to tackle the assignments that were remaining. So let's do that. And that's where we leave with Sua Squad for a while. They, Osamu starts to think about the current standings, and they're wondering if they can still hold second place by the time that the exam is over. Before they start working, though, they get a text from Ikoma, and it's so eloquently written that the imagery that arises from this is Ikoma just at a desk with very fancy stationery, like drafting a very loftily worded letter, basically asking for ingredients that they can make food with and bring food to the second phase of the exam. That's very funny, and especially like side dishes or ingredients that would pair well with sliced bread. It's very funny. We see Mizukami just like, why I oughta, because that's his captain right there. His captain, he's just like, this fucking guy. Suwa asks Ui, the operator on their squad, what if they have any extra food, and Ui says yeah. And in that case, Suwa asks her to put together a little something of her choice to give to Ikoma, mostly because it's a networking thing. Basically, they're just like, well, in the next phase, they're going to be our allies, so it'd be good for us to keep morale up and send them some food. So that's nice. That's nice of Suwa. So yeah, they decide that. So yeah, Osamu's just like, plus I wonder if we'll be hit with another assignment in disguise, like the door malfunction from yesterday. Well, but there's no choice but to, face what we got right now. This chapter ends on a big final 2 pages of everybody working on their thing and on their final, assignments and all that stuff. And the chapter ends with 6:00 p.m. Finally arriving, and it's time for the captain's evaluations. And that's when we go into chapter 254. We start with Kodera, and this chapter is basically going along and explaining the point system for everybody. Apparently the captains are all given 500 points to allocate among all 5 of the members. Kodera tells his squad that he has no reason to doubt that they gave their best efforts, so he'd like to split the points evenly with 100 going to each of us. So everybody gets 100 points in Kodera's squad. Kuruma's squad explains that he is going to let everybody in the squad choose where 100 of those points should go, and he'll decide on the rest of the 400 points. So that's nice. In this one, it's a little it's a little less straightforward than Kodera's, because Osano, their operator, actually gets the majority of the points. It's Osano and Korai from Azuma squad. They get 140 points each, which is pretty cool. Kitazo says that his easiest option is to give everybody 500 points, but Kikuchihara is not down for that. He's like, nope. Everybody should, that's not fair to people who contributed a little bit more to the squad. For example, Some should get no fewer than 200 points, and Some is the operator for Katori's squad. So they decided like she should get 200 points, and then the rest should be divided equally. Kikuchi, Some explains that she's cool with everybody getting 100 points, but Kikuchihara is very adamant about it.
Damn, someone's trying to get some buns.
No, I think Kikuchi. In any case, Minamisawa, I believe he's from Suwa squad. He also is like, well, if we're talking about contributions, then Kikuchihara should get more as well. So everybody's like, all right, cool. I think we're cool with that. So they give Kikuchihara 120 points and Some 200 points, and everybody else gets 60. Ninomiya's squad is a little more complicated. He basically explains that, like, I know you two, referring to Chika and Emma, had their hearts set on going on the away mission. So I have no issue putting on the thumb on my scale in your favor. And if you wish to proceed solely on your own skill, make up the difference in phase 2. So Ninomiya is doing the two younger guys a favor and giving them the majority of the points. Both Chika and Emma get 190 points each, and the rest of the squad gets 40. So that's nice.
So arbitrary. How do you come to that amount?
They explain here that it's quite likely the final outcome of the selection will be decided by a combined score of phases 1 and 2. So, it's not a pass-fail results for phases 1 and 2 separately. Instead, they'll combine the scores, and after that math is done, the top scorers will be the one who pass. So he's doing it mostly to do Chika and Emma a favor and expecting them to kind of, make up for it in the second round with their battle ability. But I just realized, Mia has. I'm sorry. What were you gonna say?
I was just gonna say, why not give each of them 10 points and then? Well, I don't know how the math would work out evenly, but maybe.
Well, he has 500 points. He has 500 points, so I think he's doing it so that
20 instead, he could bump that up to 220 points each. If they like for Amatori and Ema.
Yeah, I don't know.
And whatever. I'm just saying.
Well, he doesn't want to show that he still wants his other teammates to have some kind of value. You know what I mean?
So then why only 40?
Well, I'm sure he figures that he'll be able to make up the difference in the second phase because he's fucking Ninomiya, and Azuma will be able to do the same because he's fucking Azuma.
Damn,
it's possible
poor Kagami, I guess.
It's possible that Kagami isn't as passionate about going on the away mission. So, I don't know.
True.
That's my whole thing. I just realized though, Ninomiya has 3 snipers on his team.
Yeah.
You just realized that?
I don't know why. I never thought about it. I was like, oh shit. It's just like his squad is nothing but snipers.
I mean, there's a clear and obvious outcome, right? Who's going to swap roles? Who's going to switch from DPS to a tank or support?
Chika?
Yes.
I think their team could function fine. Ninomiya is basically like a raid boss.
No, I'm not saying that's a bad thing. I just thought it was. I just thought it was kind of interesting. I was like, oh shit! I didn't even realize. I didn't think about it because they've not been in their fighting gear for like 3 years at this point. So
Chika's going to be a hybrid. She's going to turn into a shooter. I'm telling you. Y'all know this already.
She'll be so busted as anything other than a sniper.
But she has been a shooter. She has like shooter. She's used shooter. Both.
She's shown it. Like
she's used Hound, right?
Hand.
Yeah, she's used Hound and she's used that as lead bullets. She's definitely like part shooter, but she's mostly.
Or was it Asteroid? It was Asteroid she used, wasn't it?
I think she uses both. I remember her using Hound one time.
She used Hound with the lead bullets. And
yeah, right. She has Hound with lead bullets.
She used Asteroid in the mall.
Yeah.
Yeah, Asteroid in the mall. She used she fainted Hound against the guy that had the salamander bomb dude on his team, OG, I think his name was.
No, OG is the captain.
She pump faked the Hound and then shot them towards the ground instead.
Yeah, World Trigger's so good. I want to read it again. I have the whole series on my bookshelf. I was like, I just read it again.
Yeah, I mean, I was just pointing out that the point system seemed a little kind of.
Yeah, no, I mean, hey, I think he's just confident he'll be able to make up his part in the battle section.
Yeah, I get it.
Especially as him and Azuma used to be A rank. I don't think they're worried about it.
Yeah, see, that's what all the teams are doing, and I'll share it. I'll save that for my thoughts.
Yeah, Utagawa explains that he is, the younger agents were at disadvantage since they relied on academic ability, which is why I'd like to give more points to the middle schoolers, referring to, I guess, I think the young one, I forget this guy's name, Tomoe, and maybe Shiki were middle schoolers. Or maybe Urashima is one. I don't know.
No, he's saying that because Kuga is so small, he thinks that he's a middle schooler.
Oh, okay. Anyway, so he's just like, hey, so I'll give the middle, and then we 3 high schoolers will divvy up the rest evenly. So, oh no, because he's referring to himself, Yuma, who everybody knows is actually in high school, and Urashima. They're the 3 high schoolers. It's Tomoe and Shiki, I think, who are middle schoolers. Or am I wrong? I don't know. Am I bugging?
Is Kuga not in middle school?
No, Kuga is in high school. He's in Osamu's class.
So the only other ones would be Tomoe, or maybe in Shiki. Maybe Shiki's
That's
in
what I
middle
thought.
school.
I think Urashima's in high school, is what they're saying. Because he says, oh, with a little extra for you, Urashima, because I know you're gunning for that pay bump. So
Yeah, I don't know. This is a little confusing.
No, because he
it's a little
gave
confusing the way he said it.
no, because he gave Kuga and Tomoe more points.
Okay, so those are the middle schoolers. So he thinks Yuma's a middle schooler.
Yeah, that's what I
Yes,
thought.
so you were right, Brian. He thinks Kuga is a middle schooler, so he gives Tomoe and Kuga, and Shiki, Utagawa, and Urashima are high schoolers. But he gave Urashima a little bit more because he's trying to help Urashima out because he wants that pay bonus. But he says you guys got to earn your keep in a big way during phase 2. And Urashima seems confident. He's like, that was already the plan, even without the bonus incentives. But hey, I'll take whatever you guys are handing out. That's pretty cool. I'm excited to see what Urashima can do.
I know he's a lone wolf kind of character, though, isn't he?
I think he has a squad, but I don't know if we know his other members very well. So
I have no idea what type of fighter he is.
I thought his squad was just him and an operator. No,
it could be. I don't remember
look it up.
Squad makeup, but I think he's one of the lower B rank squads actually. If I remember right, he's actually a gunner or an all rounder.
I'm looking it up right now.
But anyway, while Brian looks that up, Murakami explains that he'd like to
bet he's the gunner.
Yeah, he's like, I'd like to use these bonus points to get all of our scores evened out as possible, and he shows them to everybody. He gives Kumagai 300, and everybody else gets 50. Everybody seems okay with it, because I don't know why they give her that much more. But
so he's B rank, and he is the only fighter on his squad.
Okay.
So I don't know if that's because people left his squad, but he's the captain.
Yeah, we don't know anything really about Urashima. This arc is the first one he's been introduced.
I think he is he is a gunner, and he is a gunner. Yeah.
Nice. I remember that.
I just felt like he was.
Yeah, he gives that energy for some reason. So they explained that, like, I have to imagine we'll be much more motivated as a squad if we're all all in the running for that pay bump. But I don't know, for some reason they give Kumagai 200 points, and they give Hiyami their operator a little bit more as well. Everybody else gets 50 points each. Back to OG squad. He explains that despite following my every command, we're not exactly at the top of the charts. So I'll fall on my sword and give up my points and my loss. So, and my loss should be your gain, Suji, since you've been our homework champ, and I know you're trying to get on this away mission. So, we'll give you our points. Ikoma offers to give his points to Suji. And everybody else is in agreement that Suji should get the majority of points. OG gives himself 0 points and divides the rest of the points between the operator Nirei, who gets 100, Suji gets 250, Ikoma gets 50, and Obishima gets 100.
Is it known that Suji wants to go on the away mission?
He's on Ninomiya's squad, and Ninomiya wants
I see. Okay, yeah, that's what I figured, but I wasn't sure.
Yeah, Ninomiya wants to go on the squad. So
Inukai is also trying to get there, then, right?
yeah, Inukai would also like to get there.
Okay.
We cut to Kakizaki's squad, who has split up his points at Kakizaki 25, Fujimaru 25, Kageura 150, Betsuyaku is 150, and Inukai is 150. So he explains that he decided to give the bulk of the points to those who made a serious effort and to those who did a lot of growing. Kageura is confused. He's like, "Are you for real? I mean, Taichi and Inukai maybe, but I still haven't pulled my weight." And the operator explains that they're jacking up his score because he has yet to earn it, and they're expecting for him to earn it in the second round. So pretty cool. Kageura is definitely going to earn it. He's the guy. He's that guy. So yeah, short and sweet. Mizukami gives. Oh no, sorry. Yeah, Mizukami is the next one, and he explains, "I don't want to stop y'all from working. So, do you guys mind letting me figure out these points?" And everybody's like, "Yeah, we trust you." He gives himself 0, and he gives Kon, Arafune, Kashio, and Teruya 125 points each. So it seems that Kageura's squad is not particularly passionate about going on the away squad, except for Emma. So that sucks. I hope they end up on it.
Yeah.
I remember them mentioning that they're not particularly like gunning to go on the away mission, but I hope they do go. Back to Wakamura's squad, and Moria, I think their operator is like, "What? And even split? Not on my watch. I got a buttload of points, and I didn't even earn from dedicated assignments yesterday." So, she says, "Give my points to Hughes." And I forget what squad. I think he's on Asuma. What's this guy? Arafune squads. He's like, I'm cool with taking a 0 as well because I didn't pull my weight either. And he's asking to split his share between Sasumori and Rokuro. So basically, Hosoi gets 0. Wakamura gets 50, Hanazaki gets 50, Sasumori gets 200, and Hughes gets 200. And we end the chapter with Suwa's squad, as Suwa is about to get through his evaluation. And I wonder how he's going to handle it, because Suwa's been very kind of out of the box with his thinking. But that is where we left with World Trigger this week. Josh, what did you think about World Trigger chapters 253 and 254?
It was really nice to get back to World Trigger. The battle phase is coming up.
Yeah, boy.
I enjoyed this arc a lot, though. Even though I made fun of it at times, and even though I remember early on Brian wasn't feeling it. There was moments to be patient, but overall, there's a lot of character building. A lot of groundwork being done for the future, and with these chapters in particular, I didn't really care too much for how they decided to divvy out the points or whatever, but I did like certain interactions. Like one of my favorites was when Suji, when they decided to give him all of those points, he was like, "Oh, I'll honor this through my performance in phase 2," and Ikoma was like, "Nah, leave the battle brownie points for us, bro. Like we got this shit." I thought that was really funny. Also like the moment with Ninomiya. I mean, he's transformed a lot. I didn't forget that mini arc with him and Ima talking about the past. I think Ninomiya opened up and he's going to play a like a mentoring role for not. I think like for the two younger for Ima and Chica, he's gonna help. But I don't know. I kind of feel like he's gonna take like Chica under his wing a little bit, and maybe Izuma is gonna take Ima under his wing a bit more as a sniper. Like, yo, she might end up switching roles. That would be really fucking dope, man, because she has such raw power. And I mean, she could always pull out the sniper whenever. Anyway, I don't have that much more to say. I felt like I had some more thoughts before, but I forgot it. Maybe it'll come back to mind when you guys are bringing up your thoughts. So, Brian, what did you think about these couple chapters?
RGC.
Yeah.
Certified RGC, certified RGC, certified RGC.
I love World Trigger when it does shit like this. I will say A rankers versus B rankers is so fucking hype. You have no idea. I am so excited to see how this stacks up. But what I mostly want to talk about is like the point distribution for stuff. Because I found it interesting that Wakamura chose to give himself points and was okay with giving Hasoi 0, which, considering like, you know, how he was handling his squad for the majority of this stuff, I feel like the squad leaders that may have deserved points gave themselves 0. And I just find it weird that he would give himself 50 points and be all right with Hasoi with being 0. I felt like that was a weird moment for me. Like maybe he's a little more selfish than like I originally thought. What do you guys think about that?
I think in Rokuro's defense, Hosoi was very adamant about not giving herself points. Like she wasn't cool with an even split, and she didn't feel like she deserved it. And Rokuro could have fought back and be like, "No, that's ridiculous," and gave you all points. But I do remember she is on Kagura's squad, so it could be that like that she has made it known that like the Kagura squad is not particularly trying to gun for the away mission. So to her, it might not really matter much outside of the pay bump that they might get.
But the thing is, Hanzaki also said that he didn't want, like, that he wanted a 0 too, but he still gave him points anyway.
Well, yeah, I guess he gave Hanazaki 50, but he split the remainder of his points between Rokuro and whoever the other guy is on their squad. I don't know. I guess, like, you know, Hosoi and both Hosoi and Hanazaki seem pretty adamant about their positions, and you know, if they're cool with it, then I don't see a reason for Rokuro to really argue about it, even though he could have insisted a little more. But you know, these were the choices that Hanazaki and what was her name? Hosoi made. Yeah, so that's where I stand on it. But I don't know. What do you think, Josh?
What do I think about
Hosoi, Rokuro giving himself points, even though he may not have deserved it as much as other people, and being kind of cool with Hosoi not giving herself points.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm lost with like the names.
It's the Wakamura.
Wakamura squad.
Yeah, Wakamura.
Yeah, who got 0? Let me.
Rokuro
I'm sorry.
got Rokuro. Oh no, Hosoi got 0, and Hanazaki got 50.
Yeah, she said that she got a ton of bonus points the day prior because of backed up homework assignments that I think like somebody else did. So I think she felt like, oh, like I don't need any points because I got so much like the other day. But I still think 0 is a little harsh. Wakamoto giving himself 50, I guess, makes sense. I noticed all the captains gave themselves a low score if they didn't make it all even. But look, she said that she was cool with it. What is he gonna do?
Yeah, I think she was more adamant of it, and nobody asked her to do that. Like, this is something she took upon herself. And I think like if they were in agreement, then I don't think Rokuro has like an obligation to push back on it. But yeah, I see where you're coming from, but I think it makes sense. And I think Rokuro will feel like he got bailed out a little bit for sure going forward. Although he only got 50 points. He only gave himself 50.
But still, it's just obvious. Like it's apparent when he gives himself points and somebody else 0. I feel like, I don't know. So there's something about that just rubs me the wrong way.
I think Hosoi is cool with 0. Otherwise, she would have said,
but you get what I'm saying, though. Even if she's adamant, right? Like, at the end of the day, it's about how you show your value for your team, right?
Maybe. I mean,
like if she's okay with the 0, like for him to have a public kind of unfurling, you know what I mean? Like a public, situation where everybody kind of saw how a little out of his depth he is. And considering how much extra help he needed from his team to like really step up and lead, I feel like it just doesn't look good. It's not a good look for him to give himself 50 points over Hosoi, even if she said she wanted to be 0. You know what I mean? Like that's not good leadership.
This might come back.
I don't know. I think like
now that I'm looking at it,
I think
he didn't listen to anybody.
Out of 50 points out of 500, I don't think it's I think he only gave himself 50 points because there were 100 points remaining.
He could have done 25-25.
I guess. I don't know. I don't know. I don't feel like I think it's because I give him a little slack because Hosoi was very insistent on getting 0. On getting 0 specifically, not like lowering her score. She wanted nothing.
Hanzaki also
said he wanted a 0, and then he got 50.
Hanzaki, yeah, I guess. I don't know. But they got a consensus.
This is a bad look for him. That's all I'm saying. I think this is a bad look for him.
I don't know if I agree with that, but it was definitely weird points made.
I mean, he definitely checked in with them one more time. You see it here where he's like, is everyone
but he didn't do what they wanted him to do anyway. So what does he mean?
Because he turned it over. He must have shown them. He's like, hey, is everybody cool with this score breakdown? Everybody was like, sure. Hanazaki said, all right, cool, thanks.
I think he meant like the way that everybody kind of said it. Like, I don't think he showed it. I think, just after Hanazaki said his last thing and he went, or is everybody okay with doing it that way? And then he just did it his own way and gave himself you know what I mean? Like, I don't know, man. There's something, I'm probably looking too far into it, but I just don't like people who kind of do shit like that. You know what I mean? Yeah. Like if you're a leader, you got to make sure that no matter what anybody says, like your team is valued in some way.
I don't know. I feel like I agree with that, but I don't think that's the case in this one because this doesn't have an effect on Hosoi's value of herself. I think she knows like her value as an operator and all that stuff, and that's why she's so kind of confident in giving herself 0, where her value is not tied to this test. In particular, I think everybody understands like the utilitarian reason for people's being on this test is some people aren't even trying to get on the away mission, and she's not. So it's not that I don't think she has that tie to this test in the same way that others do, and I think she's aware of that. She knows that Rokuro wants to get on more than others, you know? Like Roku would like to go.
Okay. All right. So I scanned through all the scores, right? This is just extra information, right? Only 2 captains had a score that was higher than like any of their other teammates, right? So meaning aside from 2 people, every captain had at least an equal score or lower than the next than the lowest teammate. Okay, so the first Wakamura was 1 because he had 50 and another teammate had 0, and the other person was give me 1 second, was Kuruma. Kuruma squad. Kuruma had a score of 80, and 2 people on his team had a score of 70. That being Hakari and Yuba, right? But the interesting thing about that is that everybody on the team gave each other a score. Like everyone had 100 points to work around with to dole out to everybody else.
Mm-hmm.
So that wasn't a result of the captain doing that himself. So Wakamura is the only captain that had a score higher than
another member.
And yeah.
Mizukami gave himself 0.
And here's I was cooking. So for the 2 leaders, the 2 leaders who gave themselves 0, they both have completely different mindsets as to why they picked 0, which is I found interesting. OG took a 0 because he's like, well, I didn't get us where we needed to be, so I'm giving myself a 0. But Mizukami, on the other hand, my thought process for him is that he gave everybody else all the points, because if it weren't these guys, this squad would have probably not put up with his bullshit that he pulled during this segment. You know what I mean? Like he withheld a lot from them, and he kind of it takes a really understanding group to be okay with somebody withholding information from you like that. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So I think he's very grateful to them for, being so understanding of the things that he's doing. And if it were another squad, this wouldn't have been so successful. You know what I mean?
Maybe. Yeah.
I think that's his thought process.
It's possible. I'd be interested to see why Mizukami gave himself 0, because I think that's extreme. He was first place. His team is first place for a long time.
Yeah, but like I said,
it's a little harsh on himself.
Plus,
he's on Kagura squad, so not a lot of them are very passionate about going on the away. I think what's going to work out is that Kageura and Emma go alone, and Kitazo and Mizukami stay behind.
Oh, and it becomes Mizukage squad? Or Mizukami squad?
Maybe Mizukami takes over while Kageura is away, looking after Emma. But I just want Kageura on the away mission.
Yeah, me too.
I think now it's definitely likely, considering how many points he got just now.
Yeah, that's why I think it's going to be him and Emma who make it, and the rest of Kageura squad stays behind.
Which would be sick.
I'd like Mizukami to be there. I think he'd be a great Shikamaru-esque character. But who knows? But yeah. We were on whose thoughts were we on? We broke into this big discussion. Brian's.
Mine. Yeah. But yeah, I'm really, really, really excited to see what Suwa does, because I feel like of all the kind of captains, he's probably the least, like probably the hardest one to kind of predict what he's gonna do. Because in some cases he's like very open to kind of feedback and stuff, and then in other cases he'll just immediately put the foot down and have him do what he wants. So I'm really curious to see what he does here, like which side of Sua we're gonna see.
Yeah. These chapters were also my RGC.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Josh is not a real one, I suppose, but
Right. Yeah.
no, I mean, I love World Trigger. I hate that it's monthly. I miss it so much that when it was weekly, it's such a shame that we only get so little of this series, with how well it's written. And I imagine that this is not everyone's cup of tea, really, because how slow paced and methodical it could be. But I think it's wonderful, and I love that moments like this are very interesting, because at the very least you get to see a lot of psychology in play, and how everybody is kind of like thinks very. There's a lot of deep character in everybody, and their thought process. One thing that Brian brought up about Ninomiya, or I think it was Josh actually, who was talking about how Ninomiya being a mentor. I think it's cool. I think that's a cool idea. And it is weird to see Ninomiya be kind of nicer than I thought he was. Or than he came off in the rank wars, because he was a direct adversary to Tamakoma. But he's actually a really nice guy deep down, deeply caring. So I appreciated that. I'm very excited for the A rank squad battles, I guess. I really like this. I'm very excited to see how Sua breaks down, because I think Sua in particular is a very interesting leader. He's got this weird, he's like somewhere in between what Mizukami does and maybe even kind of a Ninomiya. He's more of a present leader than Mizukami was, really, but he is also very improvisational and very good at delegating when he wants. So I'm curious to see his thinking.
I feel like he could be more like Ninomiya and Kurama mixed together or something like that.
Yeah, I think I tie him closer to Mizukami because his cool
Mizukami
brought all of this.
Yeah.
But he is kind of an out of the box guy, and he's very direct and to the point. He doesn't get he doesn't overthink anything,
and he doesn't over explain either.
Yeah. Well, his ideas are simple. He gets to the simplest solution. He's a good problem solver. So
Mizukage.
What?
The Mizukage?
No, not that. Yeah, the Mizukage.
I keep saying Mizukage?
Did you say that?
No. That's just me. That's the leader of the mist.
Yeah, the leader of the village hidden in the mist. The Mizukage.
Nice.
Mizukage.
Raikage.
I think Mizukami.
What are we doing?
I think Mizukami means water god, which is pretty crazy.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah.
I bet you don't remember the Stone Village.
The Raikage? No, that's not it. Oh, the Tsuchikage. Sorry.
Yeah, it is Tsuchikage.
I remember all of the Kages.
Do you remember the sand one?
Kazekage.
Oh shit, yeah. That's the dopest one.
What about A? What about
that's
A?
That's the Raikage.
Damn. Yeah, Josh, you don't remember the Raikage's name is A?
Killer Bee's brother.
Just a letter A?
I must have buried that.
His brother is B. The Raikage's name is A.
Oh, it's kind of whack, but all right. That's cool.
Who's their? Yeah, who's their sister? C.
Yeah, I mean,
letters.
Is there a D boy?
Yeah. Yeah. But those are my thoughts on
World Trigger.
So good. So good series. Very
So
excited.
good.
I hope we get one next month. God damn it. I feel like every other month has been a skip. I miss this series every time it goes away.
I agree.
But all right. Let's move on to the next one.
Mizukami.
What?
Mizukami does mean like mist god, right?
I think Mizu means water and Kami is God.
Water god.
I know Mizu means water. I've been taking
Water
Mizu.
god.
He's the wave god, like Free Max
Yeah.
B.
Ow. Ow. All right, let's move on for it.
Free to waves.
Dandadan. And I'm gonna pass this over to Brian, who seems to be jostling with a bag of chips or something.
I'm not jostling anything. Okay. So, chapter picks up where we left off last week with the squad soaring over the eye of the typhoon. And Momo calls for Gigi to blast the eye with his evil gun. Just to kind of see if they could beat the shit out of it. But Gigi goes, "No, wait, I don't know if I could actually do that." You know what I mean? It's taking everything that I can to hold on to this fucking flying worm. And Momo enlists the help of Zuma to hold him in place. So Gigi kind of lets go of the worm, and Momo uses her powers to hold him in place. And he charges a Kamehameha and shoots it out towards the evil eye. And not the evil eye, the eye of the typhoon, which is evil in this instance.
That's true. It is evil. It is an antagonist.
He shoots it into the eye, and it looks like it deals damage, but it immediately regenerates. And in retaliation, the eye starts charging up a lightning beam, to which Momo says, "Hey, old bag, steer us clear." And she kind of swerves them out of the way as a giant fucking bolt of lightning strikes right past them, sending sharks falling or flying away. And they immediately decide that, well, Momo decides that it's time for them to kind of switch things up. So they decide to dive into the eye of the typhoon. To which everybody else is kind of like, that's pretty much suicide. We shouldn't fucking do that. Why are we giving up? And Momo goes, "I'm not desperate and I haven't given up. Taking that thing down is all I'm thinking about." And she says, "I'm going to settle. I got the hands for you, but later, but that's going to be later because now we got to take care of this shit." So she listens, and she dives straight down into the eye, shooting a bunch of fucking sharks through the worm. And they blast through the eye or past the eye. But everybody's kind of like, "What? I thought we were going to take down the eye." But Momo goes, "No, what we're actually after is the typhoon itself." And she instructs Gigi to shoot the evil gun towards the sea, so that like if the water gets vaporized, the typhoon will like inevitably dissipate. And he starts charging an evil gun, propping himself up on Zuma. Like Zuma's head is literally keeping him upright, and he blasts the evil gun into the water. But it seems as though it's not enough power. And he continuously tries to shoot it, but it's taking too long. because these the evil eye, or not, oh my god, I keep saying evil eye. The typhoon's eye is looking down towards them, so they need to get rid of this shit ASAP. So Zuma kind of gets up from behind Gigi and puts his umbrella in between the evil eye gun and shoots this beautifully drawn kind of umbrella blast out of the umbrella, and it kind of shows this gigantic, beautifully drawn 2-page spread of the typhoon exploding from the sheer power of this combined effort between Zuma and Gigi. And that is the end of the chapter. Chris, what are your thoughts?
This shit is intense for no reason.
Can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
The typhoon definitely is blowing up there, right? That's what was happening?
Yeah.
All right, because it was kind of hard to tell.
It's dissipating. You can see the mouth breaking underneath there. Like some
Yes, I didn't notice that. Oh, and these chapsticks.
Yeah. It's like me in the winter. It's pretty brutal. Yeah, I thought this was cool. I mean, a lot of this chapter, there's not a whole ton to say outside of cool action and beautifully drawn panels, because it's literally them shooting beams and sharks into a typhoon. But the umbrella thing was really cool. I mean, you know, I'm a sucker for Zuma's abilities. They're all super cool. His umbrella shit always gets me going. They destroyed the eyeball. It's in tiny fragments there. I wonder what happens now. You know, do they just get teleported to the real world again and then everybody's fine on the plane? Does the plane even the people on the plane don't even register what happened here? But yeah, a lot of typhoon science was used in making this, I suppose. I don't know how
I learned a lot.
Yeah, I learned a lot. I didn't know Momo knew so much about typhoons, so good for her.
Smart girl.
Yeah, definitely. But really, that's all I gotta say about Dandadan. It was really entertaining, and I'm excited to see what happens next, because this isn't even like the end of the arc. They still have to get to the shrine, and I'm sure some fuck shit is waiting for them over there. So those are my thoughts. Josh, what did you think?
So this is the RGC for me.
Hey.
Certified RGC. Certified RGC. Certified RGC.
Yeah, this was a blast of a chapter. Speaking of blast, the umbrella guy, if you go to page number 5, this was one of the most unfortunate scenes I've ever seen. Anybody that's over the age of 28 years old will completely understand the neck problems this nigga's gonna have.
God, dude.
For the next few weeks. If not, I don't know how long. He might have permanent neck damage, nerve damage, or something. Do you see the position he's in?
Yeah.
So he's trying to hold up someone blasting what's essentially a Kamehameha wave. He's the MVP of this situation. I don't care about anything else. He made a real sacrifice there. I thought the Worm was the MVP because he's doing this and he's been ripped in half already. He's just been a soldier the whole way, but nah, Umbrella Man held it down. And then he came through with the assist with the Umbrella Blast too. He said, let me multiply this power. Now, just to be clear, this was a blast, right? Not a beam.
It's a blast, yeah. I don't know if it's a beam.
Right. I don't care to like go for definitions right now. We're just really going off of vibes. I've seen beams.
Beams are more narrow. They're more elegant.
Yes, narrow. Yeah.
I would say
they also cause and a lot of the times beams cause explosions when they hit. Yo, a side note, Frankie is legitimately a pacifista.
Yeah,
I don't know if we confirmed that in the like 10 years ago,
I think it's
but
mentioned.
I remember like
I think it's mentioned like a lot of his rebuild was based off of Vegapunk's old models, which are like prototypes of pacifista tech. So
that's what I did not know for sure, and that's pretty cool. Caesar Clown actually called him a pacifista freak because he legit has the same laser as Kuma, I guess, but he has to put his hands together to do it. Yeah. Oh, it's cool.
Frankie Radical Beam.
Yeah, but these niggas is cool out here too. I thought the fact that the eye was shooting lightning at them, it was ripping through all the sharks that they dodged. They're flying around on this worm. This is a lot, yo. And in the midst of all of this guy sacrifices his motor abilities in his neck and perhaps the rest of his body. You know, I'm genuinely shocked they didn't get a universal RGC, but it won't be the last time I'm disappointed with my fellow podcast mates.
Wow.
It is what it is. It is what it is.
You know, just to add on to Zuma's back, that the worm doesn't look like a very stable or like soft surface. So, you know, his back's doing he's got some back problems as well coming to him.
I don't care. Like he's essentially Captain America right now, right? Super soldier serum strength wise. You know what I mean? Like as far as like athletic ability. So I know he's not a normal human. I know he's on demon time, but still the environment, right? Granted, he probably has the best form he can, but like you said, like he's on a fucking moving worm. It doesn't matter how great your form is, it's gonna be fucked up a few times. You know what I mean?
Get my guy a sleep number.
And then your boy's going Super Saiyan 2. You know what I'm saying? So that's a lot. And then he still found a moment to come in. That umbrella, so he's going blind. He's gonna be paralyzed. That umbrella attack might be the last offensive move we see from him in the series until he gets healed.
I wouldn't do all that in the series.
Well, I wouldn't put a Ron Burgundy on it, but
you sure?
That's just what I think. Yeah, I'm sure.
Okay,
I'm sure about that.
All right. I just wanted to make sure.
And if you try to debate me more, I'm gonna go to my phone.
I'm not. Oh, is that the Tim Robinson thing?
Yeah, because I will go on my phone.
I have no problem being on my phone for the whole show. Brian, what did you think about
that? The art for that last page was fucking phenomenal. Absolutely fucking beautiful work. God, it looks so good. But aside from that, not many thoughts. No.
Damn. Well,
it reminds me of a Yu-Gi-Oh card called Torrential Tribute.
I don't know that one.
I got you.
What does it do?
It's pretty strong, actually. Activate only when a monster is normal summon, flip summon, or special summon. Destroy all monsters on the field. Yikes!
Damn. Damn. Well, damn. All right. Well, I guess with that being said, that was Dandadan, and that has been our show. Thank you guys so much for listening. If you like the show, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube, most importantly. We do our little highlight breakouts for every series that we talk about. So if you don't want to listen to the whole show, but you want to get our thoughts on individual series, I do those as well. You can follow me at the Chris Espinal on Twitter and Instagram. Josh is at JDCole_37. on Instagram at New Jump City, Josh on Twitter. Brian is at b.esp on Twitter and Instagram. You can follow the show at New Jump City on all social media platforms. Email us at newjumpcitypod@gmail.com with any questions, suggestions, anything you guys want us to talk about, and we'll do it on our pre-show chat show that we haven't done for the last 2-3 weeks because it's been a little crazy in timing wise, but hopefully next week will be the week we do it again. We'll be back, but yeah, please submit questions and all that stuff. That's it. Again, subscribe, please do. We've been growing in subscribers a tiny bit, and that's been nice to see. Let's keep it going. Give us some comments. Let us know what you guys think about the chapters that we talk about every week. And yeah, we'll see you guys next week when One Piece and Kagurabachi are back. Deuces, everybody. Stay safe, New Jump citizens.
Peace.
Thanks for listening.